Hello everyone and welcome to the end of week 1 of Picture Perfect Presents. My name is Angela Andrew and these sessions are all about creative ways to use your photos for meaningful holiday gifts. We're going to be talking today about creating a year in review photo book, but before we jump into that, I just want to remind you that we have a ton of really cool stuff happening right now through this week, next week, and beyond. We've got some awesome sessions by Lori Rubin. She's my counterpart here at Mylio, and she holds the sessions in the morning for importing and organizing, setting up new devices, sharing and printing, and search, find, and filter. If you have questions about those particular topics, please feel free to jump into one of her sessions. She has time for open Q&A and will be the best person to get you informed on those topics. She also hosts Ready, Set, Go, which is a program we run Monday through Friday in the afternoon that is specifically geared for new users. So if you're just getting to know Mylio Photos, this is for you. Make sure you join at mylio.com/readysetgo. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I host a live Q&A session where you can ask me anything related to Mylio photography, organizing, photo gear, photo editing, family history. Really anything within that realm is fair game. So it's a lot of fun and a lot of varied questions. Whether you're new or you've been with us for a long time, everybody is welcome. On Friday, we host special sessions called Coffee Breaks. And next week, we're going to be talking about organizing family videos in your Mylio Photos application. So we talk about photos quite a lot, but a lot of us have videos that have been digitized. We've brought them into our libraries. I'm going to show you what you can do with them in Mylio Photos. That'll be next Friday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific. These sessions, Picture Perfect Presents, are running every day. They went through this week and they will go through next week, and hope they will give you some inspiration as to really creative things you can do with your photos to give as meaningful gifts. Today we're going to be talking, like I said, about creating a year in review photo book, but next week we've got a ton of fun things planned as well. And we also have some great holiday offers available. If you are brand new to Mylio Photos, if you haven't even purchased it yet, there are some great offers over on our website. If you are loving Mylio and you would like to give it as a gift, we have gift cards available that also get you a couple of months toward your own subscription as well. So it's a great win-win situation. If you're interested, please go check that out. And with that, let's go ahead and jump in to Mylio. Now I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties today. My usual switcher for all of my various scenes for some reason is not working, so I'm having to do it manually. So please bear with me if I end up clicking on the wrong screen. I will do my best to keep this seamless. So hopefully you guys are all seeing my screen. Everything looks good. We're gonna go ahead and jump into designing a year in review photo book. I think this is gonna be a lot of fun, and whether you're curating pictures of your family or whether you're a fine art photographer, Lori, who's with us today, she's a wildlife photographer. We have a lot of pictures that we go through the year, and there's a handful of those that kind of filter to the top as our favorites. And creating a book with these images is a great way to kind of just show off what you've done, whether that's, the journey your kids have made throughout the year, the places your family has traveled. There's all sorts of different things you can put into a year in review book. So it's completely up to you. But what we're going to do today is go through some of my photos, and you guys are going to help me make a year in review photo book for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the photos, make sure they're ready for printing. We'll upload them to Printique, and then we'll go ahead and create the book. So let's jump in. To select the photos in Mylio Photos, there's a lot of different ways to filter and find specific things. The way that I found the images that I want to use for this book is primarily using quick filters. The best thing to do when you're wanting to create a year in review is you first want to limit the pictures you're seeing only to the year you want to focus on. So we'll filter everything to 2024. I also want to look at my flagged and my 4-star and 5-star images. Because I'm a fine art photographer, those are the methods that I use to kind of make sure I know where to find my absolutely best work. So that's going to be the easiest for me. If you're working on creating an anthology of your travels, using the categories for travel or family, or even searching for specific people's names, that might be the best way to find what you're looking for. So let's jump over into the application. Right now I am in my All Photos view, and I'm going to go ahead and open up my quick filters here on the left. Open that up, and we're going to start by narrowing this down to just 2024. So I'm going to go here by date, by year, into 2020s, and we're going to pin 2024 because we only want to see those 2024 photos. Now, because I'm going to be putting these in a book, these probably should be my absolute best, most favorite images. And I'm going to start by looking for those here under my rating label and flag and pulling up all my 4 and 5-star photos. As I go through these, I'm going to start dragging certain ones down here to the Mylio clipboard. For me, this is a really quick and easy way to kind of gather things up, and then I'm going to put them into an album where I can further organize them. I really love this image. I think this one here turned out really cool. I love how this rock stack here is. And if you want, you can even make these bigger here. Grab this slider here on the right, zoom this in, so when you're here in the grid, you can scroll through and find those best images. So I'm going to go through and pick a handful here, and then I'm going to show you what to do with them from there. So down here, this is called the Mylio clipboard, and it's a temporary holding area for really anything in your library. You can use it to physically move things. You can use to gather things to put into an album. It just lets me kind of grab those images and temporarily save them, set them aside to do something else with them. So you can go through all of these images and find those favorite images. And I just like to drag them down there to the bottom of the screen, and it automatically opens up that Mylio clipboard. From there, what I'm going to do is I want to put these into an album. So I'm going to switch over here to my albums view. Oops, albums, top level, double click on that. And you can either put them into an existing album or you can create a brand new album. I actually have an album I already created for this project, so I'm going to go ahead and find that really quick. And here we go, my year in review book. And if I wanted to take these images that I just put here, most of them are actually overlaps, I could just click that. You'll see that they're all selected, and I could just drag them up here into that album, and that would place them in my album. So I can then reorder them, I can play with them, I can evaluate, okay, which ones do I want to keep in here? Which ones might be a little bit overkill? For example, I have, I'm going to go ahead and clear out my clipboard now because I'm done with that. So we can go ahead and click clear at the bottom, and that just removes that from the bottom of the screen. It doesn't delete anything. It doesn't physically move anything. It's just, like I said, it's a temporary holding area that you can do a variety of things with. So I happen to have a bunch of images here from Valley of Fire. This is a state park that's north of Las Vegas. And I happen to be out there for this beautiful sunrise. And I have a handful of images, and I probably don't need to use all of these. So I probably want to narrow it down to 1 or 2 of the best from that particular shoot. So let me go ahead and I'm going to hit the G key to go back to my grid. Let's make these a little bit bigger so we can see more of them at once. And we're looking at them all here in the grid. So as I browse through this, I think this one here is really nice and vibrant. I love this one here too. This one here, I really like it, but it feels it needs maybe a little bit more work. It's a bit flat. It's not as colorful. I'm going to go ahead and right click on that and say remove file from album. And while I really like this one here, there's like a feeling of, proceeding to the future, of hope to this one for me. It's really maybe not as moving or powerful as some of these other ones. So again, this one here, I'm going to go ahead and right click on that, remove that from the album. And let's see, I like this one here, but it's very similar to this. Let's see, and it's very similar to this one. These are all the same rock, just slightly different lighting and different processing. So I think actually this one here is probably the one that I want to keep. I'm going to go ahead and grab these 2, and I'm going to go ahead and remove those files from the album. And once things are in an album, you can remove things from that. It's not deleting it from my library. It's just deleting it from this collection. And then you can go through the rest of these images and kind of curate them down and make sure they are absolutely the best of the best from that bunch. So I've got lots of images here from lots of different trips, lots of different outings, and I think that's a nice overview of what I did this year. So what I would like to do from this point is I'm going to send these to Printique. But let's go ahead and jump back here. We talked about how to select the photos. We want to talk a little bit also about prepping them for printing. Now, the images that you're seeing here in my Mylio, these are all edited. So I've gone through and I culled through my images. I did a lot of editing, post-processing. So these are all ready to go. If you're just pulling family pictures and maybe you haven't had a chance to edit them, you might want to consider doing a little bit to make them look their best. Some of the things you can do is crop them. Make sure your subject is kind of front and center and the composition is very pleasing. So cropping is a very powerful tool. You can do that right in Mylio before you send them. There's also some great editing tools you can do in Mylio to really make your pictures pop. Add a bit of contrast, pop up the color a little bit. Let me show you where to find those really quick. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab one of these images. You can open up the edit tools here on the right. There are a number of different presets you can use, and if you go into single photo view, it actually opens up a very wide-ranging number of tools that you can use. So you can either use a preset like auto color or auto tone and use that to pop that image, or you can make some manual changes over here on the right. Completely up to you. It's just a good thing to do to make sure your image looks its best. Other things that you can do is if you're really wanting to get creative, or maybe the picture has some serious issues that you need to solve before you print it, is check out a third-party editor. Luminar Neo is one that I use a lot for creative editing. It also has some good problem-solving tools in there. It's got an erase tool. It has some generative AI stuff. So you can really get creative and do a lot of stuff with Luminar Neo. Topaz Photo AI is one that I use very, very often for sharpening, noise reduction, and upscaling. So if you're getting pictures and you're wanting to create that year in review book, maybe your spouse sent you a picture, but they didn't know to resize it before they sent you a really small, low quality version. Before you print it, you might need to upscale that. Or maybe it wasn't very sharp, maybe their hands were a little shaky, or maybe the lighting wasn't great. You can sharpen that up and make the picture look better. Photo AI here is a great tool to help with some of those things. You don't have to do this, but it's good to know that they're there, and you can use them very easily with Mylio if you choose to. The other thing, when I talked here about upscaling, is we want to take a look really quick at the size of these images. So here I've got the info panel open. We're going to go to the info tab, and these are really big files out of my Canon mirrorless camera. You can see they're 5400 by 3600 pixels, and that's a really good file size, and you can see it's quite a large file there. So this is going to be a really good file to print. If you have, 1,000 to 2,000 pixels here on your longest edge, you might want to consider upscaling it if you're going to be printing it anything bigger than, I'd say, a 4x6, maybe a 5x7. So keep that in mind as you go through and decide what you're printing. You just want to make sure you have enough pixels for it to look good. Otherwise, you're going to get it back and the quality is just not going to be what you expected. And when you print something, there's nothing worse than getting a picture back and realizing you forgot to take care of something, because this stuff costs money and you want to, you've invested in it. You want to make sure it looks great. So just take a little bit of extra time to look through your images, make sure they're good file sizes. Printique will tell you if it's not a sufficient file size. So just pay attention to those warnings as you go through. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the G key to go back to my grid here. And we have all of my images. And now it's time to send those to Printique. So this is really easy. This new integration in Mylio Photos allows you to select your images in Mylio, and then you basically say send to Printique, and it uploads them for you. You don't have to export them. You don't have to go through any extra steps. It's so simple. So what I'm going to do is go back here to Mylio, and you can do a Command or Control A to select all of your media. So we're selecting everything we put into this album. And I'm going to go here to the Share menu here on the very right sidebar. We're going to go to Post, and we're going to choose Printique. And you can see I've got 20 different images here. It shows me my file name, and then you can choose the gallery that you want to save these to on the Printique website. By default, it's going to put it in a Mylio Photos folder, but for this one, because it's a book with a lot of images, and I kind of want to keep those separate from other things that I've uploaded, I'm going to choose New Gallery and just call this 2024 Year in Review. All right, click Save. That's now selected. The next thing you'll want to do here is confirm that these are your images, that you have the right to publish them. It's basically a copyright protection. You're just confirming that they're yours, or you have permission to reproduce them. It's also asking you to understand that anything from Printique can only be shipped to the USA and Canada. One thing I forgot to mention, if you're not right away seeing this scene when screen when you click on Printique, it's probably going to be popping up and asking you to log in. So either log into an existing Printique account or go ahead and create one, and that will get you to this screen. All right, we've got everything set. I'm going to go ahead and choose Post, and that's going to go ahead and upload those to the Printique website. Let's go ahead and switch over to my browser. And here we are on Printique. You can see I'm here at printique.com. And we have a lot of different options for cool stuff that we can create. I'm going to go ahead and choose a lay flat photo book. And there's a lot of different options we can choose from here. You can do a bunch of different stuff here for your year in review photo book. It really depends on what you want to create, how small or how big. You could do something very small like this tiny little mini book here. That's this option here on the screen here. It's bitty bitty. It's like the size of the palm of my hand. But if you're just going to do pictures, this is really cool. And the quality is really quite nice. It's a little softbound book, but the pages are rigid. The prints are beautiful. I've been very happy with the quality of this little book. You can also do something bigger. You can do these soft cover books, which are a little bit more, the mini books are probably the least expensive. Soft cover books are also very economical. If you start getting into things like the fabric books and leather books and the hardcover books, those do get more expensive. So there's a lot of options here to fit different budgets. I think today what we're going to do is go with a soft cover book. So let's go ahead and do that. That's going to be kind of a middle ground. It'll give us something bigger than that little mini book, but it's still going to be a little bit more budget friendly. So you can choose your shape. I'm a big fan of square books for photo books, but you can choose a vertical or horizontal orientation if you like. 4x4 is going to be pretty tiny. I'm going to go here with the 8x8. And by default, that gives us 20 pages. And you can add more, and you can add more later as well. And then when you're ready, you just go ahead and say create now. And that's going to take you into the place where you can choose your images and start building your photo book. Now, you can spend a lot of time doing this. They also have some pre-formatted templates you can use, so you can just have it pop things in there for you. A lot of different flexibility. From here, you're going to select Printique Galleries. And here is my 2024 year in review. Everything's already uploaded. You can just click open, and I'm going to say import all. What that does is puts all of these pictures over here and ready for me to select. And it's offering to even lay this out for me. So I can either click this out and say, I want to do this myself, or I can just say, one per spread, a few photos per page, or many photos per page. You can go ahead and do this however you want. I'm going to go ahead and, you know what? I'm just going to cancel out of that and do this myself because I'm a little bit of a control freak. So I've got my front and back cover here. I usually like to save that till last, but I'm going to come here and go to my page 1 and 2. And I'm just going to start dragging pictures onto the page. And you can tell it to fit. I'm going to go ahead and say fit to page. And the thing to note here is when you go edge to edge, there may be some stuff cut off. So pay attention to those edges. You may or may not want to have it go all the way to the edge, especially if your subject is touching the edge. It can be really awkward when you have some important element in the photo actually touching the edge and maybe even going off the edge. So pay attention to that. Fitting this is good. You can also say fit to spread. That puts it over the middle. And you'll see as I move this around, it's actually giving me the safe area. It's got that dotted line kind of right around those edges. And that's telling me that maybe if I really want to make sure that all of that area is safe, I can just size this in. There we go, that's centered on the page. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and take the next one and we can drag that over there. And then you can just start manually clicking and dragging these around to get them exactly where you want. And I'm gonna go ahead and center that one there on the page. And we can call that a spread. Now, if you wanna get more creative with this, you can add stickers, you can add different shapes and masks. So like if you want a picture to only show up in a heart or in a diamond shape or in an oval, you can use these masks. You can also add text. So if you want to add a caption to these different images, you can put in whatever you like. And that can be a lot of fun too and a really nice customization. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going here. I'm gonna just start dropping these pictures in here. And again, you can do this kind of however you like. I do like the idea of doing the fit to page though. I don't mind, especially in an image like this and this, if I lose a little bit at the top and the bottom, that's not going to hurt the image. And I think with this one here, same thing. It's not going to hurt me if I lose a little bit at the top of the bottom of that one. Let's go ahead and just say fit to page. But again, pay attention to where your subject is and what you're really trying to show. That's going to really dictate how you display these. So let's go ahead and start filling in a few more of these. We can say fit to page. I think that looks pretty good. And I do like having a little bit of white space between my pictures. But if you want to have things closer together or even put more than one picture per page, you can totally do that. Let's go ahead and go to the next page. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting a few more of these on there. Fit to page, and put that one there, and fit to page. Let's see here. Now, one thing you can do is you can actually have things go full across. And actually this one that I did here on this page, I think I actually wanna do that there. So I'm gonna pull this one out. Let's go ahead and, got some panels here. I'm gonna go ahead and move those off the screen for a second so I can see what I'm doing. All right, I'm gonna actually just clear this out, and I want to, let's see, I want to just get rid of that one. And I'm gonna put something else here. Let's go ahead and we'll put this guy here, and we're gonna fit to page. And then let's go to the next page, the next spread we have here. And we wanna remove this guy. And for now, I wanna remove this guy. So this image here, this one is already a very long, narrow presentation. And I think this one's gonna look really good to fill the spread. So we're gonna go say fill the spread, and then you can go ahead and adjust this, move it up or down if it's not quite sized right, but that actually looks awesome. And that puts it fully across the page, kind of like this one here. I don't know if you can see very well here in my little mini book, but it just looks really neat, and it's a nice visual change as you're flipping through the book to see one really, really big. So if you have one that looks really good in kind of a panoramic view, feel free to do that. It looks really neat. So again, we can go to the next one and fill in more of these. Let's go ahead and grab some old rusty things. Let's fit that to the page. And let's grab that one. Ooh, no, not that one. Let's do this one. I think that's another good companion for that. So fit that one to the page. Those two look good together. And you can keep going. And these are gonna be your best images, your favorite images from the year. And as I go through these, they get me really excited. They make me want to go back and travel to these places that I've been. I was really lucky to photograph some cool stuff this year. And, you know, I just think this is a really fun way to showcase your work. And if somebody asks you, what have you been up to? You can be like, well, here, have a look. And hand them this little book, and they can see some of your best work from the last year, some of the most exciting things that you've been, where you've been, and what you've done. So I encourage you to go through and make a book like this, whether it's of your family pictures, whether this is, so you can do fit to spread like that again. I think that actually looks pretty cool. And you can go ahead and click on that, and you can resize it, move it up or down, and get that position exactly where that needs to be. So there we go. I can pull that down right about there, and that looks much better. So you can really position and customize how this all looks. And it's just so much fun. So are there any questions before we go ahead and wrap up for today? Once you're done creating your book, and I'm not going to walk you through creating all these pages because it's just going to take us a while, and we can get really detailed. You can always go into a print preview and take a look at your different pages here, get an idea of what your book's going to look like. And once you're ready, once you like the way everything is, click add to cart, and then go ahead and go through the checkout process. I do encourage you to get your stuff ordered sooner rather than later. Those holiday shipping deadlines are coming up fast. We had somebody at one of our sessions this morning who said the order they placed yesterday was saying 2 weeks for delivery. So it's getting really tight. Don't wait too long if you're wanting to create something like this as a gift. But we'll have some more great ideas for you next week. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump back over here to the presentation. Creating all this stuff is just so much fun. Are there any questions today? Let me go ahead and take a look here at the chat, see if we have anything going on. I don't see any hands up. And then if there are no questions, we can go ahead and jump into our giveaway. So one of the cool things we've been doing to promote this event is we're giving away a Printique book every single session. So if you like creating the idea of creating a year in review photo book, you're gonna have, one of our lucky attendees is gonna have the option to go make one of their own. So let me go ahead and check my notes here. It looks like Lori has our wheel of names ready, and we're gonna go ahead and spin that wheel and pick a winner for today. If you are our lucky winner, we'll ask that you put your email address into the chat. You can send it directly to me or to Lori. And it looks like our winner today is Dennis. So congratulations, Dennis. Let us know your email address. We will go ahead and take that. I'll send you a coupon code so you can go ahead and redeem for your free Printique book. and let us know what you get. Let us know what you think. I would love to hear what your experience is, and I hope that you absolutely love your photo book. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and jump back over here and see if there's any questions that have popped up. And Lori, did we happen to get Dennis's email address?
Not yet. Dennis, you can
All
send
right.
it privately in chat or just send it to me, I guess, Lori, Laurie at Mylio.com.
Yep, either
If you could
one.
do that. Yeah.
All right. So Lori, I think you said you'd created a photo book or two in the past, right?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
Did you do
it's
one
such
through
a
Printique or?
no, I didn't know about Printique. So
Ah,
this is new to me. I would love to create a book, but it's such a nice and fun way to, share as a gift or just for yourself. So it's a great time of year to get one if you guys are thinking about it. And I love the idea of year in review. I had a friend who did year in reviews for 5 years in a row and would send them out to his friends. And I really
oh,
look forward
cool.
to getting those. It was actually Jeff, if you know, we'll talk about
Okay.
later. But anyway, a friend of ours. So it's pretty cool.
Very cool. Very cool. All
All
right. Well,
right.
hopefully, did we get Dennis's email address yet?
I don't see it yet. But I've got
All right.
his first and last name, so maybe I can find that.
All right. It looks like Luan is asking how to schedule a consult. What you can do is go to the Mylio website, or you can go to support.mylio.com. There is a live chat option. Let me just show you really quick. If you go to support.mylio.com, down here in the bottom right, you're going to see a little chat bubble. Go ahead and click on that. And then it's going to be initially an AI answer, but you will get an option to speak to a person, and you can go ahead. They'll give you a link to schedule a one-on-one consult. And there we go. We got Dennis's email address. Fantastic. All right. If there are no other questions today, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I want to thank you guys all for joining me. These sessions are so much fun, and I hope you guys are enjoying them too. Let's go ahead and just do a quick reminder. We've got lots of great events for you guys. I think Lori has one more this afternoon for Ready, Set, Go, and then we're wrapping up for the weekend. And then we'll kick it off again Monday morning with more cool stuff. I hope you guys will join us. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.